You're listening to the series about family history, sharing the legacy of Bois Forte band members, past and present. Fred McDougall remembers what it was like leading Minnesota's Indian Affairs Commission in the 1970s.
We had to make some pretty sweeping legislative changes to that body to make it exactly what it is today, and that's all elected tribal chairmen on there. There was a time when they were all appointed by the governor and Senate and all sorts of dumb ways. Most of the people that served on the State Indian Affairs Commission or intertribal were not elected officials. They were just political appointees. That was bad. It didn't serve the interests of tribal government. I went to work down there, and that's when we started to change it. Actually, you had to legislatively change the commission to make tribal chiefs acceptable on there. After the tribal chiefs said, if we don't change it, we're pulling out, and we don't want nothing to do with this Indian Affairs Commission. Don't even talk to us.
McDougall is from Bois Forte, and in addition to serving as one of the first commissioners, he also served as the director of the Minnesota Chippewa tribes. And he designed the Bois Forte logo. He remembers when casinos started on the reservations and some of the benefits they had.
There's no doubt that the casinos have contributed to the economic well-being of every reservation. Every reservation is, can point to casino gaming, gaming revenues as being able to just move the progress forward. It's a case of what came first, the chicken or the egg kind of thing.
McDougall said before gaming, economic development came from the federal government.
But prior to that, any money that came into the reservation, are you ready for this, was funneled in by the Bureau of Indian Affairs. You might have called the reservations at the time, sorry to say this, but we're pretty much on welfare. Federal government decided to put us all on these reservations and give us annuities and no economic development, and so we got all of these different sorts of support programs from the state, HUD, or from the state. I'm from the feds, HUD, and all those other things. Well, roads and the whole thing that was all Bureau of Indian Affairs. Employment, there was hardly any employment on the reservation except for those who worked for those federal bureaucracies on the res. They ran the whole res. That's where the money came from.
He says casinos gave the tribes self-determination, their own revenue, beyond what the BIA was providing.
We grew with them, with the res and the tribal governments as they grew and got bigger and better and more knowledgeable, had more resources.
He says life is much better in places like Bois Forte because of gaming. He says they fought for their rights, and that's something that resonates with him today. For KBFT, I'm Allison Herrera. The Family History Series is brought to you by the Net Lake Radio Project and the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.